Hello everyone, welcome back to Yvonne Winifred Yuchi. Hope you're doing great, my beautiful fashionistas. So to make this dress today, I have my first pieces, the blouse pieces. The dress is separated into two. It has the skirt and the top pieces. I have my front folded into two and the back is also folded into two. As you see, the back has a 1-inch zipper allowance, as you see, and the skirt piece will be joined there along the waistline. So now to start off, as usual, I have to mark the joining allowance along the shoulder. So I create a straight line on top here, leaving 1/2 inch from the top, and from that line going down to the waistline. My waistline will be at 16 inches. I just added 1 inch as the joining allowance. So guys, from here I'm just going to mark half of the shoulder measurement plus 1/2 inch, which is 8 inches, marking from the center front, guys, not the zipper allowance. So after that I go down by 1 inch, and then I also mark 3 inches for the neckline width and 4 inches for both the front neckline and the back neckline. I want the back to be a little bit lower for this dress. So for the front, I want a round neckline, kind of curved like this, and I have to mark where that width is, even at the back. For the back, I want it to be a little bit like a V neckline, and it is simply also like that. So that is what I have for the neckline. So where this neckline width stopped, guys, remember we were marking starting from the center front, not the zipper allowance. So guys, where the neckline width is, I'm connecting to the 1 inch shoulder slant, and right away I just add the 1/2 inch as the joining allowance along the shoulder later, simply like that. So from this 1 inch shoulder slant, I'm going down by half of the armhole measurement. In this case, I'm working with 8 inches. Yours can be 9 or 7.5. And I'm going to mark along that line, which is the chest line. I'm marking 1/4 of the bust measurement, which is 9 inches plus 2 inches as the sewing allowance. So guys, remember at the top I have 8 inches at the shoulder line. Even along this chest line I'm marking 8 inches, then connect this line that is going to aid us as we carve out the front and back armholes. So this line, I'm going to get its midpoint, which is 4 inches, and at that 4-inch mark I'm moving in by 1/2 inch to carve out a correct front armhole. So this is for the front, and at that very midpoint here I'm just going to mark or to make a curve for the back armhole like that. So that is what we have so far, and still along the waistline I'm just going to mark 1/4 of the waist measurement plus 1 inch, which is the dart allowance, plus the 2 inches that we are using to sew this top. So after I just simply connect like this, and after connecting I can simply cut out, starting with the back markings first like this. Then after here I just separate the two and I cut out the front neckline and the front armhole. This is the front piece, and also bring back the back piece. And guys, for the back I remarked my neckline, this V neckline, like from the width to where the zipper allowance starts from, simply like that. And now I can cut it out. Remember, this is the zipper allowance. So that is what we have so far. So I'm going to put them together again like this. And from the center front guys, not the zip allowance, I'm marking 4 inches. The 4 inches, I have 3.5 inches as the a half of the bust span or the nipple to nipple measurement, and that is where the dart will be located for both the front and the back. So guys, even for the skirt pieces, I have two, remember, folded into two. I have the front and the back pieces, and the back has 1 inch zipper allowance. We have to continue with that. And from the waistline here, now I marked 8.5 inches for the hip line, and the entire length is about 26 inches with the hemming allowance inclusive. So guys, from this 1/2 inch or the waistline, I'm going to just mark still 1/4 of the waist measurement plus 1 inch as the dart allowance, and also another 2 inches or 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Even at the hip line, I'm going to do the same. I divide the hip measurement by 4, or 1/4 of the hip measurement plus just the sewing allowance. That will not come up to the hip line, so I won't consider that along the hip line. So guys, the measurement that I have along this hip line, I'm going to reduce it just by 1 inch or 1.5, and I mark that at the hemming allowance, or at the hemline. And then after, I just connect my points to form the skirt piece. So if you have any questions guys, please comment below. I'll just answer you or explain more anything that you've not understood very well. So my points are now connected very well like this. And guys, I'm going to mark the 4 inches for the dart placement there and notch it out. So guys, for the front piece, I'm going to come down by 1 inch and connect into the sides just to shape out the front waistline properly. So I'm going to notch the dart placement and then start cutting out along the sides, simply as you see, and then separate them and then finish up with this waistline for the front. The back just remains the same. Remember to notch where the darts are. So those are my skirt pieces. And guys, to start sewing, I've gone ahead and recreated my top pieces, both the front and the back, to mark or to get some cotton linings. They are in black color as you see, and I will start by taking in the dart. So the front dart will stop 1 inch below the bust line, not the chest line guys, but the bust line. The bust line is always around 10.5 inches for a medium sized person. I'll do the same for both sides, and also do the same for the lining piece for the front like that, and also even for the back. And I'll sew in the neckline by 1/2 inch and also finish out the sides. I'll leave out the armholes. I'll leave the armholes for now. So this is also the back. Remember, we have 2 darts on either sides, and the back will be split into 2 along the zipper allowance. So I'll take in the dart. The back dart will end 1 inch above the bust line, not below like the front. So after taking in the side, I also finish the neckline properly, and I will leave out the shoulder and the armhole. I'll just finish those later. So even for the skirt pieces, I'll just take in the front dart and the back dart. Remember, your inch should not go beyond the hip line. So it is around 5 inches long. And after that sewing guys, here we are. This is the front, well finished. I turned with the lining after taking in the darts, and it looks this beautiful. And this is the back. So that is the zipper allowance. The sides are finished neatly and along the neckline. So guys, I'm going to place my back pieces like right sides facing each other like this. And guys, to eliminate the zipper bulge, you just mark 1/2 inch along the zipper allowance and then connecting to the sides. The 1/2 inch is only along the zipper allowance or the center back to eliminate the zipper bulge, and then you connect your back to your back blouse to the back skirt. So guys, even the skirt pieces, the dots are taken in simply as you see, simply like that. So that is finished. I'm going to put the back away, the back skirt, and now we're going to work onto this front with the draping piece. So guys, for the draping piece, I have this piece. It is a little bit wrinkled, but guys, I'm sorry, there was no electricity at the point I was making this video, but it is really long and large. I have about 27 inches along this side that is going to be pleated, and it is finished. The ends are already finished, and I'm going to start by placing this top piece that has the draping, side. This is already also finished. I'm going to place it just along the waistline and start making the pleats. So I have about 41 inches. Is it along the width where the drape will be, and where the pleats will be is about 27 inches. So guys, I'm going to make pleats. My pleats are going to be facing up. You can either make them facing up or down, but I think facing up is better. So they are facing up and they are 1 inch away from each other. So the pleats are kind of 1 inch. That is it the width or the length? I think both. So now let me make this face you. So guys, I'm just pleating by 1 inch like this, or you can either make your pleats bigger or smaller. I've seen even gathered pieces like that when the draping piece is just gathered. So I'm just pinning them down for ease. So this is what I do to finish this entire piece. Remember, this draping side or the pleating side is, I use 27 inches and the seam allowance is inclusive. So I'm pleating as I go, but it is best if you press it down. But as I told you, there was no electricity at that point, so I just roughly made my pleats, and I'll just go ahead and sew along those pleats, tuck them down, and this side will just be pleated upwards a little bit shorter than the other side. So after tucking my pleats down, this is what I have. So remember, the pleats are onto the right side, and I joined my blouse piece onto the skirt piece together with this draped piece, and close here at the sides. Before I finished attaching my blouse to the skirt, I removed the draping piece and just joined only the blouse and the skirt piece there about 3 inches before, because this draping piece is not supposed to be attached with the back, as you'll be seeing. So guys, after that, I also joined the back pieces, that is the back blouse, onto the front blouse along the shoulder by 1/2 inch, as you see there, to have that neat finishing like that. And even the skirt piece is joined onto the blouse back piece. So guys, now I'm just going to just placing my dress right sides facing each other, and I'm going to join the side that has the pleats, and this other side also will be joined, but make sure the draping piece is not attached at the sides. It will just be finished separated, as you'll be seeing later. So guys, off camera I went ahead and made these two sleeves. They are just basic sleeves. I think you can make the basic sleeves. They will just be attached where they're supposed to be and finished neatly. Then I will take in the sides fully and separate the back into two. Remember, the back has a slit of about 6 inches. Even the hemline will just be double folded to finish it up. So guys, this is what I have. As I've told you, the sleeves are now attached and the sides are taken in. I think you're seeing this side that has the pleats, and this side I just joined the back with the front, but the draping piece, it is not attached. We're just going to place it on top here and just tucked down onto the front piece, just close to the side seam that joins the front and the back. So I'm going to make pleats again, and this side, it is supposed to be shorter than the other side. It can really be very short, or it can just be slightly shorter or a little bit shorter than the other side where our pleats were made earlier on. So I'm making my pleats, and I'm going to make sure that I sew along that side seam allowance. So that is why you're not supposed to have joined your center back to finish up this process. You have to leave the center back first open. So after pleating, I'm going to sew along that side seam just to tuck down this piece so that it can be draping down like this. So that is what I'm just going to go and finish up. Remember, the other entire piece is finished. All the sides are all finished.
2,000 years later.
The dress is now finished. So this is how it came about. These are the pleats. As I told you, they can be a little bit bigger or even smaller. You can even do gathers. So as I told you, I tucked this side along the front near the side seam, and this is how it looks like. This is the side seam that joins the front and the back, and this is how the dress looks like, guys. That is the draping. You can even make your dress maxi. You can make this draping piece of a different color. You can do whatever you want. You can just make only the skirt without the blouse piece, or without making it a full dress. So that is simply how this entire dress came about. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any supplements, go on in the comment section. And this is how the back looks like. I'm using my pegs, as you see, because this mannequin is a little bit smaller than this size of the dress, and I used the zipper. That is the zipper that I used. And as I told you, I finished the back skirt with a short slit of about 5 inches long. So guys, that is all about today's dress. I hope to see you in my next video.